So this video is meant to be just a really quick introduction to QGIS and the layout, how you bring in some data, and just basic functions. If you're familiar with ArcMap, I think that QGIS was really designed to look a lot like ArcMap, and so the layout really is no accident as a result. You can kind of go through here and just check out some of the options. So you can start a new project, open a project. I've got kind of a new project, just a blank slate open now. You'll notice there's no like add data button in here. So the way you do that actually is to get information in here. You're going to go ahead and add a layer. So you can see there's a whole bunch of different options. You can get these, Oracle layers, or these SQL layers, or PostGIS, all these different things. You can just pull in like a text file, just like you can in ArcGIS. And then like a simple one would just be, we want to bring in a vector layer, right? And I created just this kind of dummy variable, or dummy shapefile, which is just some boxes. And you can see I got this temp boxes here, and so like it's actually the shapefile that I want. And I can just say open that up and add that. Now you can see it adds it to the map right there. This dialog box stays open. If I wanted to add a raster, I'm going to add a raster to the map. You can just kind of say, all right, so for this case, I'm just going to add a Landsat image, just a TIFF file, and add that, and you can kind of see there. So now we've got our Landsat image. The bands obviously aren't quite right, but you can take this temp boxes and you can just reorder them. So if I wanted to, show the boxes on top of the raster, you can do that. You can play with the symbology, just like you can in ArcMap. You'll notice that the dialogue is a little different, but overall it's very similar. So you can change colors, this kind of thing. You can get red or whatever, right? So you can pull it off to the side, apply it, and get up. Let's do that. There you go. So you can get kind of an idea. Similarly, you can kind of change your properties. You can change your symbology here, right? So bands 1, 2, and 3 always right. So we want to do 4, 3, 2. Apply that. That should give us something that looks more like a true color image, right? Maybe we wanted to do a false color image, change red to band 5, something like that. And then I guess our box probably should be a different color if we do that. So you can kind of see, a lot of those options are really similar to ArcGIS. Navigating around, similarly, you can kind of zoom in and zoom out. This would be your previous zoom, I think, or this one. It's this one. This is zoom last. If you want to go back to the last view you had, you do that. You can kind of use the hand to drag it around, right? It's like a lot of the icons are even kind of the same as they are in ArcMap. You kind of have like your file tree over here as opposed to on the right-hand side. So if you want to go and navigate to certain files that you have, in certain folders, you can do it on this side. You have a whole bunch of options up here. So one of the things is like the toolbox. So if we go to open our toolbox up here, there's a lot of different tools that you can use, just like you can in ArcMap. So a really common one is raster calculator. Just like in ArcMap, you've got a raster calculator, basically, and so you can kind of change. You can NDVI or whatever right here, right? So you can say band 5 minus band 4 over band 5 plus band 4. That kind of thing. Oh, and you have these predefined expressions actually, so NDVI is already built in there. But you get an idea here, and so here's the raster calculator, right? And what you'll notice actually is that there's a bunch of different packages. So GRASS and GDAL and Saga and the QGIS toolbox actually all have a different version of raster calculator because they all do it slightly differently, and because this is open source, it can draw in from all these different developers actually. So GRASS GIS is like a totally different open source GIS package, but because everybody likes to share in the open source community, right, you can open this tool, and this tool is gonna, oops, this tool is going to look slightly different than the QGIS tool, but in theory they should all kind of work the same. So you can try a couple different tools out and see which one works best for you. It also has a Python interface if you want to create scripts and automate some of these things. But yeah, so that's kind of the basic layout of QGIS. There's also a whole bunch of like plugins and stuff, so you can go onto the on the web and you can get these online plugins. Let's see, where are they? Oh, plugins, right? So yeah, you can install plugins. So there's all these different online plugins that you can get, like a huge amount. Let's see, it's StreetMap now. So there's just a whole slew of different online resources. So Sentinel Hub, basically, that allows you to use Sentinel data, directly, basically. So you can pull in the satellite imagery from Sentinel through this little plugin here, and yeah, that's just one of many. So you can kind of play with that, but you get the idea here. Open, new, save, all your navigation tools. It's meant to look a lot like ArcMap, and they do a pretty good job of it. So if you got a Mac at home or you don't have a licensed ArcGIS, I would suggest you just get in here and don't be afraid of it. There's a lot of great tools. This does pretty much exactly the same thing that ArcMap does, and it's just a matter of kind of getting your hands dirty and figuring it out. And when in doubt, just ask Google. If you've got a tool in ArcMap, I don't know how to do it. What is the equivalent tool in QGIS? And likely somebody on GIS Stack Exchange has an answer for you. So that's just kind of a quick crash course into QGIS if you're interested in using it.